Welcome to this week's episode of Environmental News, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm your host, 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒍𝒚, aka the Texas Trash Talker, CEO of Zero Waste Strategies. Each week, we spotlight groundbreaking U.S. environmental initiatives, or the good, reveal industry issues that demand improvement, or the bad, and expose injustices requiring immediate action, or the ugly. So in today's stories, we're covering new transformative federal recycling legislation, gaping inequalities in recycling infrastructure, and the dangerous frontier of misleading green claims. Very glad that you're here, so let's get into it. The good category belongs to the halls of Congress. The Strategies to Eliminate Waste and Accelerate Recycling Development Act, the STEWARD Act, is formally introduced, drawing rare bipartisan support to fuse the best ideas from the Recycling Infrastructure and Accessibility Act and the Recycling and Composting Accountability Act. This bill proposes billions in new grants for local governments, tribal communities, and underserved regions to build or upgrade recycling and composting infrastructure, especially in areas long left behind. A comprehensive federal measurement system to track real progress, standardize waste reporting, and spotlight best practices is also included. They also boast technical support and pilot projects to expand rural, multifamily, and hard-to-reach recycling with a hub and spoke model. The environmental and industry groups are aligned on one message: that patchwork progress is no longer enough. The STEWARD Act's rigorous accountability, improved access, and innovation incentives create a foundation for moving from just rhetoric to actual results. America's recycling rate is only 32%, y'all. If this passes, this bill could be a generational breakthrough in getting us out of a recycling rut. Well, moving on to the bad story, U.S. lawmakers have dedicated significant attention to chemical or advanced recycling, which is a suite of technologies that convert used plastic into basic chemical building blocks, potentially to be remade into new plastics. Now, Representative Paul Tonko, who is out of New York, he voiced strong concerns about these technologies, emphasizing that while innovation is welcome, there's insufficient evidence that advanced recycling, reduces reliance on virgin materials or delivers true environmental benefits. Highlighting the controversy, he noted that much of the output from current facilities is used as fuel rather than being turned back into new products. And he warned that potential environmental health risks, especially for overburdened communities, is prevalent. Tonko argued that the country must ensure that these methods actually displace the use of new plastics and won't worsen current pollution or public health hazards. On the other side of this debate, the American Chemistry Council argued that regulatory uncertainty, such as unclear rules applying to advanced recycling facilities, has stalled billions of dollars in investment. The trade group is calling for Congress and the EPA to provide regulatory clarity and letting advanced recycling develop fairly, just like any other new technology. The industry asserts that these projects can strengthen domestic manufacturing, support supply chains, create jobs, and keep more plastics out of landfills, provided the right investments and guidance are in place. While the plastic industry promotes chemical recycling as a game-changing solution, nonprofits such as the Zero Waste International Alliance have updated their materials management hierarchy to oppose chemical recycling. They're joining lawmakers and the public with sustained concerns about transparency, accountability, and proven outcomes. Until this data and impacts are more clear, chemical recycling will remain a hotly debated and unresolved issue in the U.S. waste economy. Now, moving on to the ugly category. Over the next 9 days, August 5th through the 14th, global delegates will meet in Geneva to negotiate a landmark UN treaty aimed at ending plastic pollution worldwide. The treaty will set international standards for plastics reduction, production, design, recycling, and waste trade. In 2024, America's position on this subject shifted dramatically several times and has been described as vague by some. After strong lobbying efforts by the U.S. oil and gas industry influenced delegate voting at last year's conference, concerns still remain about whether the U.S. will ultimately support a strong binding treaty this year. Now, recycling trade groups are warning that the U.S. must engage fully with clear legal authority and a unified approach in order to ensure that its interests are fairly represented in the process. Without strong U.S. participation, American manufacturers and recyclers risk being disadvantaged by global rules that are shaped without their input. This could hinder domestic competitiveness, just as the treaty reshapes global markets and environmental standards. With plastic waste expected to surge globally in coming decades, meaningful U.S. involvement is critical to safeguard both environmental progress and the country's recycling and manufacturing sectors. Now, after hearing all of this, I'm sure you're ready to take action. So here are some steps for you. Number one is to advocate for transparent oversight. So this would look like supporting policies that require independent, science-based evaluation of chemical recycling technologies to verify environmental health benefits and risks before expanding investments. Also, you want to look into demanding equitable access. So you can encourage your state and local leaders to prioritize funding and infrastructure improvements in underserved, rural, and low-income communities, ensuring that recycling and composting are available for all. You can also urge government engagement. Make sure to contact your congressional representatives and federal agencies, most likely the State Department, in advocating for strong U.S. participation in the Global Plastics Treaty in Geneva. Insist on clear authority and a unified strategy to shape global rules reflecting U.S. interests and environmental priorities. You can push for clear enforceable labeling too. Support federal legislation that establishes consistent definitions and certifications for packaging that's labeled with recyclable or compostable or biodegradable claims to end consumer confusion and greenwashing. Also, demanding corporate accountability is really critical as well. As a consumer, you can choose products from companies with transparent environmental practices and verified certifications. You want to make sure to hold brands accountable when their recycling and compostability claims don't match reality. And then get involved locally. You can join or support grassroots and nonprofit campaigns advocating for plastic reduction, proper waste management, and environmental justice to ensure all communities benefit from sustainable practices and policies. I also have some additional resources for you as well. You can grab my free 9 Ways to Close the Loop checklist, my new Kindle book called The Zero Waste Family. Can't even get my own book name right. It's out now on Kindle. That one is packed with real-world tips for slashing waste and saving money. It's really perfect for parents, small businesses, and community change makers who want to reduce waste and save money on the monthly budget. And not only that, teach the kiddos a thing or two about sustainability, right? You can also subscribe to my Substack for insiders, zero waste strategies, and behind the scenes content. And you can join my monthly zero waste business newsletter that's on LinkedIn, or you can also just get it delivered straight to your inbox by sending me your email through the form. This will bring you practical business tools to cut costs and boost sustainability at work. Now, all of these will be linked for your convenience in the post description. So don't freak out, I'll give them to you. So as a recap, we are relishing progress and real momentum. We're tackling setbacks and stubborn gaps, and we're fighting for justice by calling out inequality. These are just some of the forces shaping the quest for zero waste across America. So stay tuned. Stay fired up, and remember that real change depends on all of us. I'll see you next week on Environmental News, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See y'all next time. Bye, y'all.